Steven Curtis Chapman. If you grew up in a Christian home like I did, you definitely know that name, and you're probably somewhat of a fan, or at least some sort of a nostalgic fan. I've always told people that I am a huge Steven Curtis Chapman fan. I like him as a person. I like his social media posts.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Hey, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Especially to the love of my life, who's going to get this rose.
And I like his music. It makes me feel good when I listen to it. But the thing is, I know I haven't listened to all of his music. And this coming year, he's doing an anniversary tour for the Speechless album. And I thought if I'm going to try to go to that, then I probably should know all of his music. So I'm going to be only listening to Steven Curtis Chapman albums in order until I'm all the way through them, for however long it takes. Now, some of you might be thinking, oh, Jonathan, I bet it's not going to take that long. I'm sure he only has like 9 albums. Try again. This man has 23 studio albums. My first rule is I'm not going to listen to the Christmas albums, and I'm also not going to listen to like compilation greatest hits albums. We're going to go through all of those anyway. Next is that I'm going to try to get this done in less than 10 days. Now, that leaves 20 albums. That means I have to listen to 2 Steven Curtis Chapman albums a day in order to complete this thing. And the other part to make it interesting is I need to pick what my favorite SCC song is, and I have to do a cover of it at the end of this. So, will it be a normal one people know? Will it be one that I don't even know yet? We're going to find out, and we'll see if I can cover it.
You didn't think I would do one of these videos without a quick explanation of a lot of things crammed into a short amount of time, did you? Here we go. Steven Curtis Chapman, he was born in November of 1962 in Paducah, Kentucky. And his early life, he learned guitar and piano because his father owned a music store and was a guitar teacher. So, very musical family. His education was that he studied at Anderson College for Music and Belmont University in Nashville. But in 1988, we saw his rise to fame within the Christian music space with his album called Real Life Conversations. This man has 5 Grammy Awards. Not only 5 Grammy Awards, but he holds the record of Dove Awards with 59. Are you kidding me? He's also a member of the Grand Ole Opry. He's known for songs like Cinderella, The Great Adventure, Speechless, Dive. I could go on and on and on because he has a lot of #1 hits. He and his wife Mary Beth have several children, 3 of which are daughters that are from China. And in their experience of adopting, they began a foundation called Show Hope, which is a nonprofit that supports adoptions. In 2008, his adopted daughter Maria, though, tragically passed away in an accident, which deeply influenced the rest of his music moving forward. He also wrote his autobiography, Between Heaven and the Real World, in 2017, sharing his life story and faith journey. It's pretty incredible. He continues to tour, he continues to record, and he continues to inspire, and he leaves just a crazy legacy of music. His sons are in the band Colony House, and his daughter-in-law is Jillian Edwards, who has great music as well.
The Steven Curtis Chapman Challenge. The SCCC. So I've completed day 1 already, or night 1, however you want to put it. I'm listening to music whenever I get an opportunity to. I have a young daughter who doesn't like to sleep that much, so when she's sleeping and I'm holding her, I was listening to Steven Curtis Chapman, and boy, last night was a doozy. She did not want to sleep at all, so I started with his first album. His first album is from 1987 and is called First Hand. It almost feels like Toto at times, and I had never heard this album all the way through, and so first thing I found out was the title track is a banger. Like, what the heck? It was so good. Not only that, but the synths are speaking to my soul. I love everything about the 80s synth going on. My #1 song is My Redeemer is Faithful and True, a very classic Steven Curtis Chapman song, the closer for the album. My second favorite song from it is First Hand, the opener. Third favorite track is Said and Done. Overall, I give this album like a 6 out of 10 on the Steven Curtis Chapman scale, not across the board scale. scale. Right after that, I listened to 1988's Real Life Conversations. The thing I noticed is that the opener from this one kind of started just like Firsthand. Okay, first song from this album that I enjoyed the most, Tuesday's Child. Second song is one I didn't even know he wrote, but I grew up singing, is His Strength is Perfect. That's number 2 for me. Number 3 is His Eyes, and I think this is the one that had the mandolin and stuff on it. I wrote it down. I was half asleep holding a baby. And the third album I listened to that night was 1989's More to This Life. And get ready, because this one's an absolute banger, banger, banger. I hate that I did that. I don't like that. I may keep it in. I remember listening to this album growing up. Not only that, but I still listen to the title track. That's right. I still get it on my playlist. I still listen to it all the time. I'm going to estimate that I listen to it twice a month. He's also showing off his acoustic skills way more in this album, like James Taylor level stuff going on. When I heard Waiting for Lightning for the first time in a long time, I was like, Steven, what have you done? So to me, this is the it album so far. Also, side note, some of the harmonies on this album and the previous two, they kind of remind me of Huey Lewis, but it didn't hit me until this album. All right, number 1 track from this album is More to This Life. What else would it be? Number 2 is Waiting for Lightning. Again, I loved this song. I'm definitely going to be listening to it way more now. And number 3, ladies, gentlemen, get ready, because it's a love song of the century. I Will Be Here. Are you kidding me? This song charted not just on like Christian stuff. It blew up, and it is a beautiful tribute to his wife. Wow, great start to these albums, but are any of these songs gonna be the one that I end up covering? It's a good possibility. I like all of these songs. What am I supposed to do with a list like this? Welcome to the 90s, everybody. For day 2, we are in 1990s album For the Sake of the Call first. It's a little less aggressive as an album at the very start. It definitely feels more CCM-ish. That is, until I heard the whip noises on the song Busy Man, which, you know, do your thing, man. I give this album a 4 out of 10 on the Steven scale. You know what, actually, Steven, if you're watching, don't be mad at me. Maybe a 5 out of 10. Top track is Busy Man. I don't know, maybe the whip noises got to me. Number 2 is Lost in the Shadow, a really cool song. Number 3 is a song I forgot existed, but it like unlocked a memory for me called You Know Better. Totally forgot about this song. It feels very doo-wop. Next, though, 2 years later, Steven dropped something that was going to change the game. The Great Adventure. Top tier, top level, banger after banger. Not only a revolutionary album in the CCM world, but Steven raps on this album. And I forgot. Part of me wishes that I could still forget.
This is really starting to sound like one of those rap songs. Believable, it's gotta be true. It's got to be true. What's going on?
He raps with Toby Mac on the song Got to Be True. It's not great. Do you know how confused I was? But it feels like friends just having fun, having a joke. You know, I can't hate him for it, but this whole album's unbelievable. Great Adventure, top tier song. Are you kidding me? 7 out of 10 for this album. Number 1 song, Great Adventure. I mean, saddle up your horses.
Saddle up your horses. Oh, man. It's so good.
If I say that to anybody my age, younger, older, that even grew up remotely around Christian music, they're gonna know that it means we've got a trail to blaze. Big contender for the cover at the end of this video. I'm thinking about it right now. It might be the one. I'm not sure. Number 2 is Got to Be True. I couldn't resist. What could I say? It's a guilty pleasure. I showed Kristen this one, and it blew her mind too. So we're going to put it at number 2. Number 3, we've got one called Still Called Today, and it had a guest vocalist on it. It didn't credit on Spotify, and so I looked, and it's BB Winans. So that's my number 3 song. Oh, but you thought I was done with albums for today? No, 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 no. I've got a baby that doesn't sleep. I drive a lot for work. On to album 3 for today. Now, this one I kind of forgot and almost didn't even leave it on the list, but it's The Live Adventure. It's a live album. And this also opened up a memory for me, which was I remember seeing Steven Curtis Chapman live as a kid. I kind of forgot about it, but we went and saw him at a Coliseum nearby, and
It was really awesome. I still remember it, but had forgotten somehow. Either way, your boy was washing dishes in the kitchen, jamming out, just listening to Steven absolutely crush every song live. But I didn't feel like I could score it higher than like my highest at this point, so we're going to give it a 6 out of 10. Number 1 song from this, More to This Life Live. Wow! Loved this one. Can't get enough of it. Number 2, guess what? Great Adventures back again. 2 really big contenders in 1 and 2 here for the cover at the end. And number 3 was the really amazing acoustic medley that he did where he took some of his slower songs. It just showed off his guitar skills. It showed off the lyrics to these songs. I sat there mesmerized by it. It was also kind of fascinating to hear him younger doing a live album because I'm also a fan of his son's music, the band Colony House. They put on a live show, and I was like, well, they got it honest. Oh, Jonathan, there's no way you're listening to more of the 90s Steven Curtis Chapman today. No, you're wrong. I listened to a 4th album today. That's right, I couldn't stop. 1994, the year I was born and the year that heaven in the real world was also born. The intro to this feels very U2. It's like he listened to Joshua Tree or Octung Baby and was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. Because it's like news clippings and scenes at the beginning and then it goes into like a delayed guitar. Pretty cool intro. Then the song King of the Jungle hits and it's very George of the Jungle, very confusing for me. And you know, people are going to listen to this album and they're going to be like, oh, 90s CCM is so cheesy. Hey, shut up. Guess what? All 90s music was cheesy and all 90s music kind of sucked. I'm going to say it, okay? Everyone can get mad at me. Do you remember 90s music? Like, are you thinking clearly if you just blame CCM for having cheesy, kind of on-the-nose stuff in the 90s? There's no way you remember accurately. Not to mention that what we deem as being like cliche in the Christian music world, it wasn't cliche then, guys, okay? They were inventing stuff then. Enough of a rant. Let's look at my top 3 songs. It's a 4 out of 10 album. To be completely honest, I kind of had a hard time picking 3 songs. I only have 2 written down. So number 1 is Dancing with the Dinosaurs because it's very weird. And I got it stuck in my head for a while. Number 2 is Burn the Ships. Liked that one. And number 3, Who's to Say? All right, day 3 coming up. Still going strong. Feeling, I don't know, off, I guess.
Truthfully, I really want to listen to the podcasts I normally listen to. But other than that, I'm feeling good, guys. I'm feeling good. Don't care. Let's SCCC it up.
I really didn't accomplish listening to that much. I really only got through 2 albums, but let me tell you, the 2 albums I got through, they're top tier, so you better get ready. We have 1996's album, Signs of Life. I didn't really remember this album at all, but boy, do I now. The first track is Lord of the Dance, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's immediately a high jump away from the previous album in both production and songwriting. And this song in particular makes me feel like an amateur on the guitar, makes me feel like a beginner on the guitar. It makes me feel like I've never played the guitar. What's fascinating is that this is a 90s CCM album, but it kind of already feels like it's in the 2000s a little bit. I almost didn't get to finish this one, but then I couldn't sleep, so then I ended up finishing this one and going to the next one. So it's just what it is. But this album, 8 out of 10. Unreal album. Number 1 song, Lord of the Dance. Number 2 song, The Walk. Are you kidding me? That one was so cool. Number 3 is Let Us Pray, a forgotten bop. For bopping. But y'all better get ready, because the 90s aren't over yet, and thank goodness, because we got 1999's album Speechless. Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to Speechless. We've made it to Turtleneck Land, and let me tell you, once I listened to this album, I was ready to go on Amazon and buy every turtleneck that they had in their inventory. I still might do it. Let's just say I'm diving in. Let's just say it left me speechless. Let's just say that it's a 10 out of 10 album. Number 1 track, Dive. This is a big contender. Number 2, The Change. Forgot about this song, but as soon as it came on, I was like, here we go. And number 3, we've got the title track, Speechless. The question is, which song do I think is gonna end up being the one that I do?
I don't know. We'll just keep moving forward, I guess. Welcome to the 2000s, baby. I don't know why my intros are like this. 2001, we're at Declaration. Forgot about this album, but I remember my older brother buying this album at a family Christian bookstore. And I remember being like, dang, what's going on with these electric guitars? What's going on? I forgot all about the songs until it came on, and then I started singing so much. Definitely more rock influence, but definitely top tier. This is a 9 out of 10 album. Number 1 song, Live Out Loud, great opener. Number 2, Magnificent Obsession. This one felt so cool and interesting to me. And number 3, God is God. Great message, very captivating feel to the music and everything like that. A great start to the 2000s era of Chapman. I call him Chapman because we're best friends at this point. Next up, look out. We got a love album. That's right, Steven made a love album. I call him Steven because we're best friends now. I think this one really shows off writing skills in a really fascinating way. A lot of times people just tend to discount Christian musicians, Christian writers, because they're like, oh, you're stuck only writing about one thing and it's the biggest question and thing in the universe. Yeah, well, maybe that's because Christians find it valuable, okay? But he had a great love album. I mean, this thing is packed with really beautiful songs dedicated to his wife and about love. Number 1 song for me was Your Side of the World. Really cool song, great lyrics, everything like that. Number 2 completely shell-shocked me. I was in the shower and all of a sudden I hear 500 Miles come on. I'm gonna be /500 Miles comes on. What? I had no idea he did a cover of this song. Anyway, there you go. I wasn't expecting it. And so then I actually told my wife about it, and she was like, yeah, that's the only way I know the song. You only know that song because of Steven Curtis Chapman's Love album? All right. Number 3 is 11/6/64. Really sweet song. What can I say? This one, it made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I'm beginning to feel a little bit tired. I want to listen to my podcasts. And there's just so much that I don't know about the cover. Part of me is like, can I even finish it?
Coward, we have a new musical world to conquer. You make me sick.
Leave me alone, please.
Hiding in the shadows. Hiding from who you truly are.
No.
You can't escape the Chapmans.
Let's keep moving forward. It's day 6 of the challenge. I know I've skipped ahead, but that's because we're going to cover a lot of ground in this, and because I'm feeling pretty good about beating day 10. I think I'm going to make it happen. First up, we have the 2004 album, All Things New. This is an album that I did not know existed. I feel like I have a pretty good general idea of what SCC music is out there, but this one I had never heard. Right away, a piano-led intro kind of got me hype all of a sudden. I was like, okay, here we go. And the rest of this album reminds me a little bit of Paul Simon's 2000s albums that were coming out. You know, there's like the song Outrageous that some of this kind of reminds me of. Again, this is the first album where I don't know any of the songs. I was probably too busy not paying bills and listening to Reliant K. Top songs. Number 1 is Last Day on Earth. Steven's hitting a nice falsetto in it. It was beautiful. Number 2 is Believe Me Now. It had a really nice 12-string sound in it. And the next one is the title track, All Things New. Great album, 7 out of 10. Again, remember this scale is only within Steven Curtis Chapman's music. What I'm also realizing is if we were just grading it with all of CCM, these would all be 10 out of 10 albums. Next, we have the 2007 album, This Moment. And I think it's a little ironic, maybe not ironic, that this is really a moment for Steven Curtis Chapman and his family and his music. This album, I remember it coming out. I remember a lot of talk around it. You know, this album has the song Cinderella on it, which is kind of like wedding dance 101 music, but it also now has kind of a deeper meaning for what the Chapman family went through later on. And we're going to get to that. Overall, great album. Number 1 song's gotta be Cinderella.
Little piece of advice. Don't listen to Cinderella while your daughter's in the car, and it's really the song hits different now than when I was 13 years old. I'm gonna be thinking about it today a little bit more. That's for sure. It's one of those songs that feels very like poignant, maybe is the word I'm looking for. Timely, but he wrote this song not realizing how timely, it would be. Man, tough listen, but really great album so far.
I listened to this song twice. Second time with my wife to be like, hey, now we have a daughter. How does this song hit you? Your boy cried in the car again. I probably shouldn't think about this song too much. My number 2 song is Children of God. Immediately I was like, do I know this extra voice on here? But I don't know. And I realized that it's Caleb Chapman, aka lead singer of Colony House, aka Steven's son. It was really cool to hear. And number 3 is Definition of Me. This one at first reminded me of a little bit of Keen's music and was a really cool sound. So overall, the moment, I give it a 7 out of 10. I feel like I've graded everything a 7 out of 10. Maybe that's more my problem. Okay, I'm gonna be kind of sensitive about this portion of it because you don't really need a YouTube guy just talking this whole scenario out or anything like that, and I don't want it to come across like I'm taking advantage of a scenario. But in between this moment and the next album, the Chapman family actually lost their young daughter, Maria. While she was playing outside, there was a driveway accident involving one of their sons, and she passed away. And the Chapman family, I can only imagine how truly awful this situation is, especially now having a daughter. It's horrific to think about. And I just remember collectively how many Christians around were just praying for the Chapman family. But I also remember how much, even then, kind of younger, that I respected how they approached this scenario, because it would be very easy to run very far away from belief in God at all, and that was not the case. After that happened, we get the album called Beauty Will Rise, and I had never listened to this album before. It was a really hard listen. It was a beautiful album, a lot of beautiful tributes, but a lot of songs that were questions to God, questions about heaven, about life. And I would feel personally super weird trying to put a number to it, because it feels like you're putting a number to someone's grief. And so for that reason, I'm not going to rank this album, and I'm not going to put a grade to it. Again, I do this out of respect for his family, but I respect Steven a lot, and I respect his music and his writing a lot. And I've had people over the years kind of say that my stuff reminds them of Steven's stuff. That really means a lot, because he's an excellent writer. When I put my middle name in my username because my other artist name was taken, I remember having the thought, oh, well, it's okay, because like Steven Curtis Chapman has his middle name in there. We're just going to keep moving forward. So between Beauty Will Rise and his next full album, I didn't realize that there's kind of a compilation album, and it's kind of 2 compilation albums that aren't really compilation albums. So I am going to talk about them, and I am going to grade those. So 2011, Recreation comes out. This is an album of all originals, but they've been revamped, remade, mostly acoustic. 7 out of 10. Here come my favorites. 1 is More to This Life. The version on here is beautiful. This song, it's on 3 top lists. That's pretty good. Is it going to be the cover? I don't know. Number 2, Heaven in the Real World. I liked this one better than the original one. I thought it was great. Number 3, Great Adventure. Again, on another list. 2 strong contenders on this one. 2013, Steven does a Cracker Barrel album. I told my wife that. She was like, you mean like for the restaurant? And I was like, what other Cracker Barrel did you think I was talking about? Couldn't find it. Could not find Deep Roots. Since it's just a Cracker Barrel release, but I realized that later this album is adapted into Deeper Roots, which we'll talk about later. All right, that's all I've listened to in this span of time. Tough listens, but strong listens, strong contenders for the cover at the end.
Day 7, and guess what? It's the last day. That's right. I finished all of it. We're going to hit them real quick here. I'm stressing because I'm supposed to do a cover at the end of this, and I hope that it goes okay, and I can't figure out what song I'm going to do. 2013 happens, the glorious unfolding. I was working for Lifeway Christian bookstores here locally, and I remember this album coming out. I remember it being a really big deal because we've got like some compilation stuff between this and the last album. I would assume that this was maybe just artistically taking more time to process what had happened in the past several years, be with family, things like that. But yeah, this is a Lifeway flashback because we played this on loop in the store, and I remember not being mad about it. I remember thinking, thank goodness it's this and not like something else. Like, I don't know. I'm too scared to slight anybody in Lifeway. Fine, Francesca Battistelli. I don't want to listen to any more of it. So yeah, I remember every song on the album, but it is interesting after doing this to kind of have the retrospect of the other albums in perspective, because this album is so hopeful. It has a lot of great topics around moving forward, leaning on God, struggles that we go through, things like that. It's a really great album. To me, it kind of feels like a sequel to Beauty Will Rise. I'm going to give this album an 8 out of 10. Number one song, we've got Michael and Maria, a really sweet song, heartbreaking and at the same time necessary. I really love the lyrics and the arrangement of it. Number two is Glorious Unfolding. I remember every lyric from this song from Lifeway, and I'm okay with that, okay? We're just going to leave it there. There were a lot of tracks to go through. So next up, we're in 2016. 2016, we're at Worship and Believe, a worship album from him, which is really awesome. A lot of people, when they hear CCM, they're like, isn't it all worship music? Well, maybe in function, but, you know, worship music, it needs to be more accessible for a group to sing. But this had way more tracks, let me tell you, because you had the regular studio versions, and then on the deluxe edition, you know I'm listening to deluxe editions, it had all of those songs again, but live. I listened to the whole thing. It was an hour and 10 minutes long. Number one is More Than Conquerors. Stellar. Number two is Sing For You. This one feels a little bit like Rich Mullins in the beginning, but instead of like a hammer dulcimer, it's an acoustic. It's awesome. And number three is God Forever. Moving forward, we finally get to see the result of the Cracker Barrel tragedy of Deep Roots disappearing. We've got Deeper Roots in 2019, a bluegrass album that makes me feel so nostalgic. You see, here in North Carolina, bluegrass, folk music, it's everywhere. I grew up in a small church. A lot of these hymns and stuff I knew already, but the sound, it just makes me feel really relaxed. 9 out of 10 album. I was already listening to this album well before I did this challenge. Number one is Be Still and Know, featuring Caleb Chapman, again, the lead singer of Colony House. Beautiful version of this song. Number two is Life is Like a Mountain Railroad, because this one feels nostalgic. My dad taught us this song. I think his dad taught him this song, and now I sing this song to my daughter when she's not sleeping. Guys, I'm so serious. My daughter doesn't sleep. Leave a comment with some help if you have it, please. And number three, we've got what I'm going to call Deeper Dive. It's the song Dive, but deeper into the bluegrass, and it's featuring Ricky Skaggs. Are you kidding me? Dive is everywhere. We've got too many stacking up. Now we're in 2022 with the most recent, as of right now, studio album, Still. Number one, Welcome Back to Wonder, a really cool intro. It felt like it was just growing and building this anticipation, and then like right into the next song. Number two, Don't Lose Heart. I already knew this song too. You think I don't keep up? Do you think I'm out of touch with the Steven Curtis Chapman content? No, I'm not. And number three is Running After You. This one has a beautiful sounding 80s synth right at the beginning. You already knew I was a sucker for it. Well, he's hitting us with it in this most recent album. I can't believe it's over, guys. I've listened to 17 and a half hours of Steven Curtis Chapman in 7 days. I don't know if that's a brag or not. Steven, if you're watching it, I'm not upset. I love it. This was one of the easiest challenges I've ever done. I loved everything I listened to. In fact, I did go back and listen to some of the Christmas stuff by myself. It's okay. So maybe more like 20 hours of Steven Curtis Chapman. He also has 2 more recent singles that I'm assuming are going to be for an album. We've got a new song called Do It Again. Great. Really surprised me with the style of it. 10 out of 10. And then we've got another love song, Steven. I can't take all these. It's called Forever Love of My Life. 10 out of 10. Got me right in the heart. The thing is, people, I have listened to so much Steven, and I said I would do a cover, and I'm going to do a cover, but I don't know what song it's going to be. We've got some songs like Lord of the Dance that are just unbelievable. It's my number one from that album, but you know, others that show up more than that. Like you've got Dive and Great Adventure over and over again. But I feel like maybe I should do a song that more encompasses who Steven is right across all of these albums. I don't know what...